Okay, so I'm done with some of the preliminary painting. I sprayed the bottom of the trailer in flat black. The mud flaps and the drum brakes and the reefer unit grill is flat black. The suspension all in red. If I decide later some parts to be silver or flat black, I'll just hand paint them. This is the reefer unit in red. Came out pretty good. And then I have the landing gear assembled, but I'm not going to attach it yet. It's in silver or aluminum. Here are the tanks, also in aluminum. So I'll assemble the trailer and then I'll paint it from there. Okay, so here's the trailer body completely assembled. I attached some sticks on the side so I can handle it while I'm spraying it. So I'm going to start spray painting it to my paint scheme. So it's pretty big. It's over 2 feet long. So here is the trailer that I put together and I painted. So what I did was I spray paint the trailer mostly white. Then I masked off the area where I wanted it to stay white, and then spray painted it red. And then after that I masked off a small area where I wanted the black trim to match the tractor. So that's why there's this black line here. So now I'm going to pull off the masking tape, and hopefully the masking tape is going to keep a very sharp edge between the different colors and trim. I'll be back. So here I am removing the masking tape, and as you can see where I masked off the white paint, it stayed. The black trim looks good as well. So I'll remove the rest of the tape. So I'm just pulling away the masking tape from the last trim. This is the black trim on top of the gold. That way it gives a little gold trim outside of the black. Okay, so here's the progress so far. Pulled off the masking tape, the red, the white, and the gold trim. The gold is the outline of this black line. So that's what it's going to look like when I'm done. Still have to paint the black line. Still have to put the chassis on. Right now it's just supported by 2 spray can caps. So that's the progress so far. Okay, so I'm done painting the trailer, the rectangular piece. So I touched up wherever there was a little bit of bleeding from the spray painting. So I'm about to attach the reefer, the various tanks, fuel tanks, air tanks, auxiliary tanks, the suspension piece, mud flaps. There's the rear bumper with the bar, some more tanks. And of course there's a bunch of hand holes and handrails that need to be attached. But for the most part, trailer's painted. So I'll be back after everything is glued together. So here's the final product. Everything's painted, everything's glued. Some of the details I want to highlight was the reefer. It's molded closed. The grill. Painted the steps in the matching trim. It also comes with the alternate leg supports if you want to mount it on the truck. I have them on the long ones just for display for now before I match it up with the tractor. It has the Great Dane mud flaps, which I highlighted. Trim goes all around. Put minimal decals because I'm trying to replicate the TV show trailer. I only have a few cautionary ones. I left off the reflector stripes. As far as detail goes, most of it is in the suspension because the body is pretty simple. So you have the fuel tanks for the reefer, the suspension, some more tanks. I decided to do the body in red, so the rear bumper was only silver on the bottom for the Mansfield bar. tail lamps. So overall, I think it's a good replica, but of course it's not a true replica of the show trailer because it was a 40-foot brown Reefer with a Thermo King, and this one doesn't have decals for the Thermo King. So, and this one of course is 53-footer, and the Reefer is more aerodynamic. On the show is more square corners because it was an older one. So here's the tractor. I'll be back after I change out the supports and hook them up, but the trim should match up. Okay, so I swapped out the leg support for the short ones. Now that it's mounted on the tractor, put the kingpin into the fifth wheel, and here they go. I believe it matches up pretty close. The wheels do turn. You just have to be careful because sometimes when the front is a little higher, this wheel will not make contact. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty good. I'll turn this thing around so you can see the other side. I dry brushed the mud flaps to show the Great Dane. I left out a lot of the reflector decals and all the cautionary ones because I wanted to leave it as plain and simple. Here's the front part of the trailer with the Reefer. Of course, the kingpin is in the fifth wheel, so it's actually functional right now. I'll try to include some stills at the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it.